This week on Wild, Yotam makes a furry friend. Team go quackers with some birds. And we meet some magical creatures from Harry Potter.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura.
And I'm Yotam.
And welcome back to Wild.
Today we'll be looking at some scary animals, tiny insects, and even some magical creatures.
And here to introduce them all, we have our animal expert, Danny.
Hi guys.
But first, to kick off the show, let's begin the snail race.
As always, the snail on the left is mine, and the snail on the right is Yotam's.
First one outside of the circle wins. Are you ready to race?
Ready, set, go!
Now this might take a while, so we'll be back later to check on our snails. But now it is time to ask Danny who would win.
So, as always in Who Would Win, Yotam and I each choose an animal that we think is tough, and we would then ask Danny which one would win in a fight.
My animal, drumroll please, is the tarantula.
Ooh, good choice. And my animal is the Argentine tegu lizard.
Look at the size of that. There is no way that would be my tarantula.
Hey, he's pretty tough. What do you think, Danny? Have I chosen a good contender?
You've chosen a really good contender there. He's a super predator. So he uses his tail to protect himself by whipping it. He has these really sharp claws that he uses for fighting and digging up his prey. And then inside of his mouth, he has these razor sharp teeth and a big tongue to sense his dinner. So he is a good super predator.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. But come on, tarantula is one of the toughest creatures out there.
Now it is a tough little creature. What it does, it likes to protect himself by flicking tiny little hairs. Now it would flick those hairs into the tegu's eyes to protect himself. But what he likes to do, he likes to bite his dinner and he injects it with venom. Now that venom cooks the inside of whatever he likes to sting, and that would then cook the inside of that, and then the spider would then drink it out. So that's how a spider likes to prey on his food.
So, Danny, we have just one final question.
Who would win?
In my opinion, the tegu would win.
Yes!
Well, at the moment,
I'm winning.
so
Definitely.
it seems, yours seems a bit sleepy, and I think,
Oh, she's moved really fast. Slow and steady wins the race, like always.
I think today's my day. You might have won several before. I think
Nope.
today's my day.
100% winner.
I believe in my guy.
Come on.
We'll have to come back later again and check on their progress.
Let's do it.
I think I got a really good feeling about my guy.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see you later. This week, we visited Martin Mere Wetland Centre to see what we could do to help and how you at home can help as well.
My name is Victoria Fellows and I'm the marketing manager here at Martin Mere, so I'm responsible for getting all the visitors through the door and doing everything from advertising in the local newspaper to doing all the Facebook and the Twitter postings. Martin Mere opened in 1975, so we've not long celebrated our 40th anniversary. Originally it was derelict farmland here, and actually there wasn't a single tree on the site. I think one of the things that makes Martin Mere special is not only the people that work here and obviously the professionalism and the knowledge that we've got on the site, but it's also the fact that you can get so close to nature and to all the birds that we've got here. Over winter, for example, we've got up to 2,000 whooper swans that come right in front of you, in front of the hide for a feed every single day. And the ability to get that close is something that people sort of take away with them and actually treasure. In terms of the captive side, it's being able to hand feed them, particularly the flamingos, where the flamingos all come up to you and they actually take food out of your hand. There is very few experiences like that in the country, and the fact you can walk around and just go up close to all the waterfowl and feed it, and actually see otters up close as well. One of the best ways to help is just to come and have a good day out here. But obviously if you come here and you have a great day out, you can also become a member. Obviously all the membership money that we get actually helps directly support the conservation work of WWT. So actually you're doing something as part of a wider organisation as well.
Okay, so we're both placement students and we work in the reserve department here, so that's kind of the conservation, like wild side of things. We kind of manage the habitat. So
Do a bit of visitor interaction. So for example, we do daily swan talks where we have to give a presentation on the swans as well as answer any questions that the visitors might have.
we know quite a lot about the swans. So the swans, most of the swans here at Martin Mere are Hooper swans, and they migrate from Iceland every year. So they spend the winter here and they breed in Iceland. So it's about 1,000-mile migration, which is like a really long migration for swans. We have around 1,100 at the moment. Our other big main species is pink-footed geese. So they're also a migratory species who come from Iceland and Greenland, and we have around 36,000 at our peak.
My name's Steve Nasir and I'm the Living Collections Manager here at WWT Martin Mere. They get fed twice a day, but also in peak times the public are allowed to feed the birds.
For me, it's an amazing place to work, and I've been here 11 years now, so it's no plans to move on just yet.
To me, I think Martin Mere, as well as obviously it's like really good conservation work, like WWT does kind of a lot of global conservation work. I just really like the kind of atmosphere here at Martin Mere. It's almost like a family. There's people here who've worked here for 40 years or more than that, and everyone knows each other and everyone kind of looks out for each other. So I think it's kind of like a family atmosphere.
It's such a beautiful place and you can really see the conservation hands-on from the very beginning, and it's great to be part of that team, and as Betty said, a team of such lovely people.
Martin Mere means a lot to me. It's hopefully going to be my last job. I'm coming to the end of my career, so I've worked in mainstream zoos all my life, and to join a company like this is superb for me. There's a meaning to what we do. There's a reason for everything we do, and it's all geared to conservation, be it in situ or ex situ. So I'm proud to be a part of that.
Now it's time for Rumour Has It, where we learn about animals with misleading reputations. So Danny, what have you got for us today?
This one is a raccoon. Do you know anything about raccoons?
I know that they're quite cute and they eat rubbish.
Now in the wild they would scavenge in bins, but this is a pet one, okay? Now he's called Miko. What he likes to eat in captivity, he likes to eat lots and lots of fruit, nuts, and lots of poultry. So he likes his chicken, he likes mice.
How old is he?
He's 1 year old now. Quite big, isn't he?
Quite big for his age. Why have you chose the name Miko?
Miko comes from the raccoon on Pocahontas. My kids named him that because they was obsessed with the film.
Where would you normally find raccoons?
Now raccoons come from all Central and Northern America, and they can be quite aggressive in the wild, so they wouldn't be as friendly as this. If you was to approach one in the wild, it would probably attack back. Now they can be quite aggressive. They have these razor sharp claws and they would gouge at you. Obviously he's got razor sharp teeth.
What should you do if you encounter one in the wild?
Just leave it be, just avoid it as much as you can. They have something called a prehensile hand, so he constantly feels everything with his hands, first of all, before he even puts it near his mouth. So you'll constantly see him like this. Now we're going to have a look at skunks. Do you know anything about skunks, Yotam?
Well, I know that they're smelly.
Now they can be quite smelly, and they use that smell as a defence. What happens is they can lift their tail, they can spray a nasty chemical from their bum, and they do that to warn off predators, and it really, really does stink. So do you want to try and hold him?
Yeah.
So Pepper's an omnivore, so what he likes to eat nuts, berries, lots and lots of insects, and if he could find them, small rodents. Now this next forest animal, any ideas what it is, Yotam?
Well, it looks like a hedgehog.
Now it's very, very similar to a hedgehog. This one's called a lesser tenrec. Do you want to hold him?
Yes, please.
Now, even though he looks like a hedgehog, he's not even closely related. The nearest relative of this is in fact the African elephant.
Really?
So he carries the same characteristics. He's got the spikes, he's got the claws, and his diet is pretty much the same. Except this one, not even related.
Can I pet it?
Of course you can. It's not overly spiky, is it?
No, it's quite soft, really.
Now this one's a good swimmer, he's a good climber, and he likes to burrow down in his nest. Now, the greater tenrec, the cousin of this, is much bigger, it's about this big. That has about 72 babies, which is the most babies of any mammal in the world.
All that in one sitting?
In one sitting.
That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think it is now time to check on the snail race.
No!
Well, just like I thought, I have the lead now. And it looks like yours is taking a detour.
Wrong way. So, interesting fact, did you know that in parts of Africa people eat these?
Oh.
I know.
I don't think I'll be able to do that.
No.
Later we should have the results, and hopefully I will win.
Never. Now, we know that not all animals are cute. Some are actually quite scary.
Especially the creepy crawlies.
But Danny's company, Curious Critters, works to help people get over their fear of animals.
We sent over a member of our crew to see how that therapy works.
Many people find creepy crawlies scary. In fact, up to 40% of all phobias are related to bugs, mice, snakes, and bats. Our animal expert, Danny, helps people to get over their fears of these animals. Today, Danny is helping Kirsty, who is scared of spiders. To start off, Danny gets Kirsty to draw pictures of spiders. He does this so that she can focus on the drawing and how harmless it is, which will help her relate this idea to real spiders. He then asks Kirsty to look at photos of spiders and guess their size. She says she thinks they're big, and Danny explains to her that they're actually very small. This helps Kirsty realize that her fears are mostly in her head. Kirsty then has to look at the small spiders in real life, coming to terms with how harmless they are. Danny then asks Kirsty to hold a fake tarantula so that she can be warmed up for holding a real one. Danny then gets Kirsty to hold a cockroach because it's the food source of the tarantula, and also helps Kirsty become familiar with holding insects. Then Kirsty moves on to holding her first spider. This is the whip spider, which is extremely harmless. Danny doesn't rush Kirsty, making sure that she's comfortable. They finally move on to Rosie, the tarantula. He places Rosie's legs on Kirsty's hand one at a time to ease her in. And there she is. She's holding the tarantula. Congratulations, Kirsty. Danny asks Kirsty to rate her fear of spiders before and after the therapy to see her progress. Thanks, Danny, for helping Kirsty with her fears.
Last week we asked some of you at home to tweet us in some questions about the animals from the Harry Potter films. So I'm going to try and answer some of those for you now. This first one is from Chloe Price, and she asked, could I teach my owl to get my mail for me? Now in theory you could. Owls train for food, so we could fly one from one place to another by the use of food on a glove. And the owl should, in theory, fly from one destination to a next. Harry's owl, Hedwig, is a snowy owl. This is Barney, and Barney is a barn owl. Now they're very, very similar, except their colorations is much different, as you can see. Now owls catch their dinner with their sharp talons, which is these things here. They use their body to camouflage, and they can see perfectly at night time. Their sense of hearing is 75 times better than mine and yours, and that's what makes him a super predator. So what he will do, he will fly around at night, pick up tiny, tiny vibrations on the floor. He will swoop down with these sharp talons, grab his dinner, and take it off back to his nest. Now, Chloe asked, can we train a barn owl to bring our mail? Now the answer to that is yes, we could. Now the way we would do that is we would train him first of all with food. Then once we've got the food sorted, we'd try it with an envelope and see how he got on. We have some animals here that the Harry Potter's characters actually eat in the movie, except these ones aren't chocolate. Yes, that's right, they're frogs. Laura Zwager asked a frog-related question, asking, do all frogs have a long tongue? Well, the answer to that is no. Most frogs have long tongues, except this one, a White's tree frog, doesn't have a long tongue. So the way he catches his dinner, he stalks up on it, he catches it, and he shovels it in his mouth a bit like this. Now this is an Australian White's tree frog, and he's a nocturnal animal. He's got these really, really big eyes, and you will notice he's got this really big flabby belly. What he does, he stores water in there. And as you know, the Australian jungle's very, very hot. When it gets too hot for this little frog, what he does, he wheezes himself and coats himself in that way. Pretty disgusting, hey? Now, unfortunately, it was not cuddly kittens that Harry had to fight in the Chamber of Secrets. It was a giant snake. Twitter user Becca Myers asks a question: can a small snake be as deadly as a large snake? Okay, this is Sid, and Sid is one of my oldest snakes. He's a corn snake. Now he's fully grown. This is as big as he will get. Now, corn snakes are known for being quite a docile snake. They make good first-time pets. What he likes to prey upon, he's a constricting snake, so he will prey upon small mice, small chicks, and what he does, he constricts them. So he grabs it, coils his body all around it, and suffocates it. Okay, this next one is a little bit bigger. Would you like to join us, Laura? So Laura's joining us with Bubba. Bubba is a small Burmese python. Now he's only 2 years old. He's going to get pretty big. He's going to get about 18 feet long. Now this is a constricting snake, so he strangles his prey again, just like the corn snake. He has rear-facing teeth. So the further away, once he catches his prey, the further away the prey tries to pull, the further onto his teeth that the animal would go. Now what he likes to prey upon at the minute is small rabbits, large rats, and anything around that sort of size. When he gets much, much bigger, in the wild they would challenge crocodiles, they would challenge small deer, other large snakes, so anything like that. So he is a big, big super predator. Moving on to scarier things now, we'll look at spiders. Serena Ball on Twitter asks, how can you tell if a spider's dangerous or not? These are whip spiders, and these feature in the 4th Harry Potter film, The Goblet of Fire. Now, these come from Tanzania, and they have these adapted front forearms, and inside it's very, very spiky. So what he does, he catches his prey, and he starts to eat it like this. Now, he's virtually blind, so the way he sees, he has these front forelegs, and he uses them just like a blind man would use a walking stick to see if it's safe to walk, and that's how he moves around in the caves. This is Rosie, a Chilean rose tarantula. Now back to Serena's Twitter question. She asked, how can you tell if a spider's dangerous or not? Now this has 2 defense mechanisms. His first one is to flick his back legs like this on his abdomen. And what it does, it releases tiny, tiny little hairs into the atmosphere. Now those can stick in your skin and make it really, really itchy. And that's one of the things that it does to warn off predators. Now the second defense he has, he raises up onto his back legs and he has these 2 sharp fangs. And he will bite at his prey or anything that's trying to hurt him. Back to Yotam and Laura in the studio.
No! Where are you going?
Yes!
No!
Mwah. I think it's quite obvious who won this race.
Yeah, but only this week.
Yeah, but still.
But what have we got coming up next?
The end of show quiz,
That I'm going to win.
where we test our knowledge of what we've learned this week.
Play along at home, see how much you've learned.
Okay, it's now time for the end of the show quiz. And today, whoever answers the least questions correctly is going in the bug drop. And we're going to drop 50 cockroaches on your head. So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
the first question. Where do raccoons come from?
North America.
Well done. What do skunks use their claws for?
Digging.
What was the animal called that looks like a hedgehog?
Lesser 10 wreck.
Magic. Yes. How do tarantulas defend themselves?
With the hairs on their abdomen and the poisonous fangs.
Well done. How do snakes kill their prey?
They constrict.
What was the species of lizard called?
The Argentine Tego.
How do frogs keep themselves wet?
Through the food that they eat.
They go in a dip.
No, you're both wrong. Okay. How many degrees can an owl spin its head?
280.
Magic. Which Harry Potter film is the whip spider in?
Goblet of Fire.
And the last question. What was the name of the barn owl?
Barney.
Barney. Well done. Okay, now we're going to get the scores from earlier in the show. Can I have a drum roll, please? And the winner is Yotam.
Yes.
Well done. So, Laura, you're going to have to go and get drained because we're going in the bug drop.
No!
Laura, are you ready?
Yes. And that is all we have time for you this week on Wild. But before we say goodbye, we'd like to say a big thank you to Danny, our animal expert.
Thank you.
Be sure to send us your questions on Twitter for Film Star of the Week. The subject is Sea Creatures.
And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for all of our behind-the-scenes adventures.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Smell? It's nothing about the sense of smell, it's the sense of hearing. I don't know what I'm on about. Harry's pot.
Let's say something. Through the food that they eat.
Over to you, Utam.
Have a dip in the lake.